The vast reaches of the Galactic Empire buzzed with activity. Starships streaked between systems, new worlds were cataloged, and borders expanded. In this age of exploration and conquest, the Empire's leaders believed nothing could stand in their way. Yet, amidst their ambitions, a strange transmission interrupted their routine. The message arrived unexpectedly, intercepted by a deep space listening post near the edge of Imperial space. It was unlike any they had encountered before, ancient in origin, encoded with complex symbols that defied standard decryption. It took weeks for the Empire's brightest minds to decipher its meaning. Earth is a forbidden zone, the final translation read. No species should enter. No fleet should approach. To do so is to invite ruin. The warning echoed through the halls of the Imperial Command Center. Commanders and counselors gathered to discuss the implications. Whispers spread among the ranks. Was this a trap, a desperate bluff, or a true testament to the planet's danger? Admiral Kalen Voss, commander of the Imperial Exploration Fleet, stood before the council, his expression a mix of curiosity and resolve. We have expanded into countless star systems. We have faced hostile forces and unknown phenomena. Why should we fear this Earth? An elder council member, her voice calm but firm, replied, Because such warnings do not come lightly. The message is old, predating our earliest records. It speaks of powers beyond our understanding. Still, ambition burned brighter than caution in the Empire's heart. Voss argued, to turn away now is to show weakness. If Earth holds secrets, we should uncover them. Our destiny is to rule the stars, not to fear shadows. The council was divided, but the Emperor's decision was final. We will send a fleet to Earth, but with caution. Failure is not an option. As preparations began, the message continued to haunt the halls of the Empire. Some whispered of ancient civilizations destroyed for ignoring similar warnings. Others speculated about Earth's true nature. Was it a sanctuary, a trap, or a tomb? Meanwhile, on Earth, unaware of the Empire's attention, humanity continued its quiet progress. Beneath the oceans, within hidden mountain ranges, and deep underground, ancient technology hummed softly. Guardians of a past, long forgotten but still powerful. In Imperial space, the fleet prepared to depart. Starships gleamed with new weaponry and sensors designed to pierce Earth's mysteries. Among the crew were scientists, soldiers, and diplomats, each eager to claim a place in the new chapter of galactic history. As the flagship Resolute launched from the dock, Admiral Voss looked out at the stars with steady eyes. We go not just to conquer, but to understand. Let Earth reveal itself, if it dares. The journey toward Earth was filled with anticipation and unease. Sensor readings flickered, strange anomalies rippled through the fleet systems, and communications faltered. But the crew pushed forward, driven by hope, curiosity, and the unyielding human spirit. In the silent void, the ancient warning remained. Earth, the forbidden zone. A challenge to the Empire's might and a promise of secrets yet to be revealed. The stars awaited the answer. The Imperial fleet moved steadily through the darkness, its polished hulls reflecting distant starlight as it approached Earth's solar system. Excitement stirred among the crew. This was uncharted territory, a chance to unveil the secrets whispered in that ancient warning. But as the fleet crossed the outer edge of the system, strange things began to happen. Communications grew spotty, messages crackling with static or vanishing altogether. The advanced sensors, designed to detect even the faintest signals, struggled against an unseen interference. Navigation systems wavered, and timekeeping instruments showed irregularities that no engineer could explain. "What is happening?" Lieutenant Ryle asked, eyes scanning his console nervously. "It's like the system itself is fighting us." "Admiral," Kalen Voss frowned, his fingers tapping rhythmically on the command chair's armrest. The warning was no myth. Something here resists our presence. Despite the difficulties, the fleet pressed on. Probes launched into orbit around Earth sent back images both familiar and baffling. Vast cities glimmered beneath clouds, but scattered across the planet's surface were structures that defied the Empire's understanding. Massive geometric formations, glowing faintly with energy. Then, without warning, the first scout ship vanished. "Gone," the communications officer said, voice tense. "No distress signals, no debris detected. Just gone." The fleet's scientists pored over the data, proposing theories from natural phenomena to advanced cloaking technologies. One by one, more small vessels disappeared during reconnaissance missions, leaving the crew anxious and unsettled. "The planet is protected," Voss concluded. "By what, we do not yet know. But we must be prepared for anything." At the same time, the strange anomalies grew more intense. Entire swaths of space around Earth flickered, time itself seeming to warp. A sense of unease settled over the fleet, but pride and duty pushed the crew forward. In the shadow of the Forbidden Zone, an unspoken challenge hung in the air. Would humanity's legendary resilience and ingenuity be enough to face the unknown? Meanwhile, on Earth, humanity watched, hidden deep beneath the planet's surface. In vast complexes shielded from view, human leaders monitored the approaching fleet. The ancient warning had been passed down through generations, not as a myth, but as a solemn responsibility. "They do not know what they risk," a commander said, eyes focused on the glowing displays. "Our defenses must be ready." Teams of engineers and scientists worked tirelessly to prepare. Ancient machines, dormant for centuries, awakened slowly. The Earth's guardians, elite human forces equipped with technology blending the ancient and the modern, stood ready to protect their home. Back on the Imperial fleet, tensions rose. Some officers advocated caution, others insisted on pressing forward, no matter the cost. Whispers of mutiny stirred beneath the surface, fueled by fear and frustration. "Our duty is clear," Voss reminded his crew. "To explore, to protect the Empire's future, and to respect the unknown. But respect does not mean surrender." As the fleet drew closer to Earth's atmosphere, the final barrier appeared. Not a force field or weapon, but a silent, invisible shield that disrupted every attempt at surveillance and communication. The Empire's technology struggled against the planet's defenses. A humbling reminder that not all secrets could be unraveled by force or science alone. And then, from the surface, came the first unmistakable sign. A fleet of human ships launched to meet the invaders, swift, precise, and prepared. The Forbidden Zone had awakened. The stars held their breath once more as two forces prepared to collide, not just for control, but for the very future of the galaxy. The air was thick with tension as the Imperial landing party descended through Earth's atmosphere. Their ship, the Valiant, cut through clouds with practiced precision, sensors still struggling against the planet's strange interference. Every crew member felt the weight of the unknown pressing upon them. Admiral Kalen Voss watched the readings intently. "Keep your eyes open. This is unlike any mission we have faced before." Below, sprawling landscapes of Earth stretched out, mountains, forests, cities shimmering in the distance. But hidden among these familiar sights were signs of something extraordinary, vast underground complexes, geometric structures, and fields pulsating faintly with energy. The Valiant touched down in a remote valley, surrounded by towering cliffs, that seemed almost deliberately shaped. No welcoming committee awaited them, only a heavy silence. The landing party, led by Captain Aaron Cale, prepared to disembark. As the hatch opened, the explorers stepped into a world that felt both alien and deeply familiar. The air was breathable, but the atmosphere carried an almost electric charge, as if the planet itself was alive and aware. They moved cautiously toward the nearby ruins, scanners probing for life signs and technological activity. Suddenly, without warning, they were surrounded. Human defenders emerged from hidden bunkers, their uniforms sleek and their weapons advanced. These were no ordinary soldiers. They moved with practiced efficiency, their eyes sharp, their presence commanding respect. "Identify yourselves," a woman's voice rang out, calm but resolute. She stepped forward, her posture that of a leader, her gaze unwavering. Captain Kale raised his hands in a gesture of peace. "We come in exploration, not war. We seek to understand." The woman studied them for a moment. "You have ignored the warnings. This is forbidden ground." Her name was Commander Ilara, and she represented the Guardians of Earth, humans who had dedicated their lives to protecting the planet's secrets from those who might misuse them. "Why protect this place so fiercely?" Kale asked, curiosity mixing with caution. Ilara's eyes glinted. "Because what lies beneath is not just technology, but legacy. Earth holds ancient knowledge, power that shaped civilizations long before the Empire. It is our duty to ensure it is never abused." As discussions continued, the landing party was escorted deeper underground. The air grew cooler, walls illuminated by mysterious symbols and circuits woven into the rock. Vast chambers held devices that hummed with dormant energy, machines capable of feats the Empire's science had not yet dreamed of. The humans explained that Earth had been a sanctuary for millennia, a place where knowledge and life were safeguarded. The warnings sent to the Empire were not threats but protections, boundaries to prevent catastrophic mistakes. "Your Empire's hunger for expansion could bring ruin not just to Earth, but to the galaxy," Ilara warned. "We cannot allow that." Captain Kale felt a mixture of awe and unease. Here was a humanity different from the one he had imagined, ancient, wise, and formidable. Meanwhile, above ground, the Imperial fleet remained on alert. Communications were limited, but the signals from the landing party hinted at more than simple exploration. Within the Valiant, debates raged. Some crew members believed they should retreat, respecting Earth's warning. Others, fueled by ambition and imperial pride, pushed for further investigation. Admiral Voss received reports and weighed his options. The Empire's future could hinge on what they learned here, whether to claim Earth's secrets or respect its boundaries. But the first contact had changed everything. Humanity was no longer a distant myth or a passive planet. It was alive, vigilant, and ready to defend its home. The silence of Earth was broken, and with it, a new chapter in galactic history began. Deep within the sprawling underground complex, the tension was palpable. Captain Aaron Kale and his landing party stood face to face with the Earth's Guardians, led by Commander Ilara. The atmosphere was thick with unspoken questions and cautious respect. Ilara's voice was steady, carrying the weight of generations. "You must understand why Earth is forbidden. This planet is not just a home, it is a vault of ancient power." She motioned to a nearby chamber where walls shimmered with holographic projections, star maps, historical records, and blueprints of technology far beyond the Empire's current capabilities. Millennia ago, Earth was a cradle of civilizations that flourished and fell, leaving behind knowledge that shaped the cosmos, Ilara explained. These secrets are locked away to protect all life from destruction. Kale studied the displays, awed by the complexity and scale. Why hide it? Why warn others to stay away? "Because power unchecked can corrupt," Ilara replied. In the wrong hands, these technologies could ignite wars that consume entire galaxies. The warnings were sent as a shield, an invitation to respect life and peace. The landing party listened, struggling to reconcile the Empire's expansionist values with this vision of protection and restraint. It was clear humanity had evolved beyond simple survival. They had become guardians not only of their world, but of the galaxy's balance. Meanwhile, aboard the Imperial flagship Resolute, Admiral Kalen Voss reviewed reports from the surface. "We must tread carefully," he advised his officers. "This is not merely a planet. It is a symbol of what humanity has become and what they guard fiercely." Tensions inside the Empire grew. Factions emerged, some eager to negotiate and learn, others unwilling to accept limits on their power. On Earth, preparations continued. The Guardians activated defense systems hidden in the planet's core. Ancient drones awoke, patrolling the skies and seas with precision. Human pilots trained relentlessly, ready to defend their home at a moment's notice. Alara spoke privately with Kale. "You have seen our world. We offer a choice. Leave Earth and carry this warning back to your empire, or test our resolve and face consequences you cannot imagine." Kale felt the weight of her words. He realized this was more than a confrontation. It was a test of values, strength, and respect. The landing party debated their next move. Some advocated retreat, others urged further exploration, but all understood that Earth was unlike any world they had encountered. As the days passed, subtle signals reached the Empire's borders, messages of caution and unity from humanity's far-reaching allies. The galaxy was watching, waiting, to see if the Empire would heed the warning or challenge it. The Guardians were not merely defenders. They were a reminder that some boundaries existed for good reason. Earth's silence was a promise, not a threat. Captain Kale prepared a report for Admiral Voss, detailing everything they had witnessed. He hoped the Empire could learn from humanity's example, that true strength was not in conquest but in restraint and respect for the unknown. The future hung in balance. Earth stood as a beacon of hope and warning, an invitation to choose peace or risk devastation. The story of the Forbidden Zone was only beginning. Back aboard the Imperial flagship Resolute, the atmosphere was tense. Admiral Kalen Voss had just returned from the surface with his landing party, their faces marked by awe and unease. The weight of Earth's revelations settled heavily over the Imperial Command. In the Grand Council chamber, Imperial leaders gathered for a heated debate. Holographic projections of Earth's defenses and technologies hovered between them, illuminating the room with soft blue light. "This planet is unlike any we have encountered," Voss began, voice steady but resolute. "The humans are not only highly advanced but fiercely protective of their home. Their technology is rooted in something ancient and powerful." Counselor Terev, a staunch expansionist, slammed his fist on the table. "We cannot be deterred by threats or unknown forces. Our empire has conquered countless systems. We must find a way to break through their defenses and claim their secrets." Another counselor, Miala, shook her head. "We risk igniting a war that could consume us all. These humans have warned us. We must consider diplomacy and caution." Whispers filled the chamber as factions emerged. Some believed Earth's power was a resource to be taken, others saw wisdom in respecting the Forbidden Zone. Meanwhile, rumors of discontent spread through the fleet. Soldiers and officers debated the Empire's next move, torn between loyalty to their cause and respect for the humans they had encountered. Voss convened a secret meeting with his closest advisors. "We must find a way to understand their strength, without provoking conflict. We need a plan that balances caution and ambition." The advisors proposed sending envoys, small, discreet teams trained in diplomacy and science, to build trust and learn more about Earth's technology and culture. At the same time, covert operations began. A few rogue agents attempted to infiltrate Earth's outer defenses, seeking to gather intelligence without detection. But Earth's guardians were vigilant, and every attempt was thwarted with precision. These failures deepened the Empire's frustration. Some leaders called for a decisive strike, convinced that fear and force could break the stalemate. If we do not act, we will appear weak, Counselor Terev warned. Our enemies will take advantage. Voss weighed the risks. The Empire's pride pushed toward confrontation, but his experience told him otherwise. Humanity had survived and thrived under harsh conditions, and their warnings were not empty. In the shadows, a faction within the Empire began plotting. They sought to exploit internal divisions, believing that chaos might open a path to Earth's secrets. On Earth, Commander Ilara monitored these developments closely. She understood the Empire's ambitions but remained steadfast. "We will not allow greed to endanger the galaxy," she vowed. The Guardians prepared for every possibility, strengthening defenses, training their forces, and reaching out quietly to other civilizations for support. As tensions escalated, the question lingered. Would the Empire choose wisdom or war? Restraint or recklessness? Admiral Voss stood before the fleet, addressing his crew. "We face a turning point. Our actions will shape not only the fate of Earth, but the legacy of our Empire. Let us choose with honor and courage." The silent stars awaited the Empire's next move, while Earth stood ready, protected by guardians who carried the hopes of generations. The balance of peace and power hung by a thread. The Imperial envoy ship Endurance slipped quietly through Earth's orbit, its sleek frame cloaked by advanced stealth technology designed to avoid detection. Aboard, Captain Lyra Danan prepared her team for a mission unlike any other, an attempt to open dialogue with the planet's guardians. "This is more than just negotiation," Lyra said, her voice calm but resolute. "We represent not only the Empire's ambition, but its hope for peaceful coexistence." The team was small, scientists, diplomats, and security officers trained in cross-cultural communication. They knew the risks. Failure could mean not only death, but a full-scale war. As the Endurance descended toward a designated neutral zone, an ancient structure hidden deep within Earth's forests, tension tightened in every chest. On the ground, Commander Ilara watched, the approaching ship through encrypted sensors. The Guardians had prepared a cautious welcome, no weapons drawn, but no trust given. "We meet to listen and learn, not to submit or concede," Ilara reminded her team. "Our goal is peace, but we will defend Earth if necessary." The Endurance touched down smoothly. The emissaries stepped onto the forest floor, greeted by a contingent of guardians. The two groups faced one another, wary yet respectful. Lyra took the lead, her eyes steady. "We come seeking understanding. The Empire respects your warnings and wishes to build a future without conflict." Ilara nodded. "We recognize your courage in coming unarmed. Earth's history is long and complex, but at its heart lies a commitment to protect life and knowledge." The dialogue unfolded over hours, then days. The envoy shared the Empire's perspective, its drive to explore, to grow, and to ensure its survival in a vast galaxy. The Guardians revealed stories of Earth's ancient civilizations, their triumphs and mistakes, and the reasons for the sacred warning. Scientists exchanged knowledge cautiously, fascinated by the potential for cooperation. Earth's technology was unlike anything the Empire had encountered, an intricate blend of biology, energy, and quantum principles. As trust slowly grew, Lyra and Ilara discussed the future. "There is much we could learn from each other," Ilara said. "But trust must be earned over time. Earth's silence is not weakness. It is wisdom." Lyra agreed. "Our Empire must understand that not all power lies in conquest. Sometimes strength is in knowing when to hold back." But even as peace seemed possible, shadows loomed. Back within the Empire, factions opposed to diplomacy plotted to undermine the fragile truce. Spy networks worked to sabotage communications. False reports and propaganda spread, fueling fear and mistrust. The Empire's hardliners grew louder, demanding a show of strength. Lyra received a coded message warning of a planned attack, an attempt to provoke Earth's defenses and justify war. She raced to inform Admiral Voss, urging immediate action to prevent catastrophe. "We cannot let fear destroy what we have built." Voss convened an emergency council, his voice resolute. "We stand at a crossroads. Will we be remembered as conquerors or as architects of peace?" With swift decision, Voss authorized security, measures to protect the envoy, and increased efforts to expose the saboteurs. On Earth, Alara prepared her forces for any eventuality but held hope in her heart. This is a test not only of diplomacy but of our shared humanity. The galaxy watched as two civilizations, once strangers and now cautious allies, faced their greatest challenge yet. Not with weapons, but with courage, trust, and the will to build a better future. The silent storm that once threatened to erupt began to calm, but its echoes reminded all that peace was a fragile, precious gift. Beneath the gleaming corridors of the imperial capital, in the depths where whispers bred conspiracy, a shadowy faction gathered. They called themselves the Zealots, fanatics devoted to empire expansion at any cost. The arrival of Earth, the Forbidden Zone, had rattled their certainty and threatened their vision. Counselor Terev, their outspoken leader, paced the chamber with a grim intensity. "The so-called guardians of Earth are nothing but obstacles to our destiny. Their ancient power is a prize waiting to be claimed." His followers nodded, eyes burning with conviction. "We must act swiftly. The longer we delay, the stronger they grow, and the more fragile our hold on the Empire becomes." A plan took shape. A covert strike designed to cripple Earth's defenses and shatter the fragile peace that Admiral Voss and Captain Lyra had worked so hard to build. They would infiltrate the planet's outer shields with a small fleet of stealth bombers, striking key installations before Guardians could react. The goal was simple: provoke a retaliation that justified full-scale war. Meanwhile, Lyra and Alara continued their delicate negotiations, unaware of the storm gathering in the Empire's underbelly. On Earth, the Guardians' sensors picked up faint but unmistakable signatures, anomalies in the atmosphere, brief bursts of unusual energy. Alara's expression darkened. "Something is coming. They are testing us," she convened her commanders. "Prepare for attack. We must protect our home without giving them the satisfaction of conflict." In orbit, the Imperial Fleet's commanders debated the morality and strategy of the secret operation. Many feared the consequences, but orders from the Zealots were clear and unyielding. As night fell over Earth's surface, the stealth bombers, launched from hidden carriers, slipping past the first line of defense. The strike was precise and devastating. Ancient power nodes exploded in brilliant flashes, shaking the ground and disrupting the planet's energy grid. Earth's Guardians responded swiftly, activating secondary defenses and mobilizing forces. Human pilots scrambled into the skies, engaging the bombers in fierce dogfights. Captain Kale, still stationed on the surface with the landing party, coordinated with Alara's forces. "They want war," he said grimly. "We must show them that Earth will not be broken." The battle was intense but brief. The bombers were destroyed or forced to retreat, leaving the Empire with a clear message: Earth's defenses were no myth. Back on the Imperial flagship, Admiral Voss confronted Counselor Terev. "This reckless attack undermines everything we have worked for. It endangers the Empire and our future." Terev sneered. "Your weakness will be our downfall. Power belongs to those who seize it." Voss's gaze hardened. "Power without wisdom is destruction." The conflict within the Empire deepened as more voices called for peace and reason against the Zealots' growing aggression. On Earth, the Guardians mourned the damage but held firm. Ilara's words echoed through their ranks. "We defend not to conquer, but to preserve life and hope." In the aftermath, Lyra and Ilara renewed their dialogue, determined to prevent further bloodshed. "The shadow's move will not break us," Ilara said. "But we must be vigilant. Peace is fragile and trust must be guarded." Lyra nodded. "We must show our people that strength lies not in domination, but in understanding." The galaxy watched as two civilizations stood united against the darkness within. The external threat was real, but so was the hope for a new era. In the silent space between stars, a storm had passed, but its shadows lingered, reminders that vigilance, courage, and unity would be needed to shape the future. The aftermath of the Shadow's attack left scars, both physical and political. Earth's surface bore the marks of destruction, ancient energy nodes reduced to rubble, and forests scorched. Yet, more profound was the impact within the hearts of those who had witnessed what nearly became a galactic war. Captain Lyra Danan stood beside Commander Ilara on a hill overlooking the valley where the Endurance had first landed. The air was fresh, carrying the scent of renewal and hope. "We almost lost everything," Lyra said quietly. "But what we have now is more precious than power or technology." Ilara nodded. "It is trust, fragile, yes, but real. And it is the foundation for something greater." Back in the Imperial capital, Admiral Kalen Voss called an emergency summit. The Empire faced a choice: continue down the path of conquest and risk endless war, or embrace a new vision of cooperation and respect. Voss spoke with conviction. Earth's warning was not a challenge to be overcome by force. It was a lesson. Our strength must be measured not by the worlds we conquer, but by the peace we uphold. Many in the council listened, some reluctantly, but others with dawning realization. The Zealots' grip weakened as more voices called for a future where the Empire and humanity stood side by side. Across the galaxy, news of the truce spread, like wildfire. Species that had once viewed Earth as a mystery now looked to it as a symbol of resilience and wisdom. On Earth, the Guardians worked alongside the Imperial envoys to repair the damage, sharing knowledge freely. Ancient machines hummed to life once more, not as weapons but as tools for healing and growth. Scientists from both civilizations collaborated, unlocking secrets of sustainable energy, advanced medicine, and star travel that honored life instead of destroying it. Captain Kale reflected on how far humanity had come, from hiding in the shadows to becoming protectors of a galactic peace. "Our strength was never just in our technology," he said during a joint ceremony, "but in our spirit. Our willingness to stand firm and to choose hope over fear. As Earth's skies shimmered with the light of new stars and distant worlds, the Empire's fleet sailed beside human ships in peaceful patrols, guardians of the fragile peace they had fought so hard to secure. The Forbidden Zone was no longer a warning etched in fear, but a promise etched in unity. Commander Ilara and Admiral Voss stood side by side, watching the horizon. "This is only the beginning," Ilara said. "Yes," Voss replied, "but it is a beginning worth fighting for." And so, in the silent vastness of space, two great civilizations forged a legacy, one not of domination, but of respect, courage, and a future where all life might thrive together. The galaxy had learned that some warnings were not threats to be defied, but truths to be honored. And humanity's place among the stars was secured, not through fear or violence, but through the enduring strength of their spirit.